This Christmas, your soulmate is thinking about you. A sign will appear tonight. It is quiet right now. Too quiet. The kind of quiet that feels like something is holding its breath. If you felt a sudden pause inside you just before you opened this, that was not random. That was the moment heaven leaned closer. I was told to speak softly at first, not to rush you, not to startle you, because what I carry is tender, and because your heart has already been through enough surprises. So listen gently. This message was not meant for many. It was meant for you, in this exact moment, on this Christmas path you are walking. Tonight is not ordinary. You may think it is just another evening, another scrolling moment, another passing thought. But something has already shifted. Someone far from you, or perhaps closer than you realize, has been unable to quiet their mind. They tried to distract themselves. They tried sleep. They tried laughter, noise, plans. None of it worked. Because your name, your presence, your energy kept returning like a soft knock they could not ignore. This is not obsession. This is recognition. This is the soul remembering what the mind tried to forget. I know you have questioned this connection. You have wondered if it was real, if you imagined it, if you cared more than they did. You have asked yourself if you should let go, if Christmas would pass without anything changing. I am here to tell you that tonight is not about grand gestures yet. Tonight is about a sign. A quiet one. One that only your heart will understand. Your soulmate is thinking of you in moments they did not plan to. It happens when the lights dim. When a familiar song plays. When laughter fades and honesty creeps in. They think of the way you feel, not just the way you look. They remember how safe you felt, or how seen you made them feel, or how you touched a part of them they had locked away for years. This thinking is not comfortable for them. It is honest. And honesty has a way of breaking defenses. You may feel a sudden wave of emotion tonight without knowing why. A warmth in your chest. A heaviness behind your eyes. A calm mixed with longing. Do not push it away. That is the bridge forming again. Souls do not need permission to speak to each other. They only need truth. The sign I speak of will not scream. It will whisper. It may come as a message you were not expecting, or a dream that feels more real than sleep. It may come through repetition, seeing the same number, hearing the same phrase, stumbling upon something that reminds you of them without effort. It may come through peace instead of pain, and that is how you will know it is divine. Fear rushes. Truth settles. You have been strong for a long time. Stronger than anyone knows. You smiled when you were tired. You loved even when you were unsure. You waited without guarantees. Heaven saw that. Your soulmate feels that now. They feel the weight of what they almost lost, or what they delayed, or what they were too afraid to name. This is not punishment. This is awakening. There are moments in life when silence feels unbearably heavy, when the absence of sound carries so much meaning that it feels like a heartbeat you can't quite hear. And yet, this silence, though it might feel like distance, is not an absence. It is a sacred stillness where something powerful is being grown. When heaven stills the noise, it is not because you have been forgotten, it is because something delicate is taking shape in the spaces you cannot yet see. Silence is not punishment. It is presence, refined. It is the moment before the dawn opens, when everything is waiting to breathe again. It is the quiet field right before a seed cracks open deep beneath the soil. An invisible miracle preparing to become visible. You may not hear it, but the earth knows it is happening. The angels know. Heaven knows. And your soul, even in its trembling, knows too. So when someone you love retreats into silence, when words go unspoken or messages are left unread, do not rush to assume that you have been erased. Often, what looks like withdrawal is actually transformation. The soul goes inward when it wrestles with truth. It retreats when it needs to face its own shadows, when it's building the courage to meet the light again. The walls they face are not against you, they are within them. And the love you offered has been echoing inside those walls longer than you can imagine. Love never disappears into nothingness. Every act of giving, every prayer whispered in faith, every tear offered to heaven, all of it becomes seed. And seeds are not loud. Seeds do not shout or announce their process. They split open quietly in the darkness, breaking themselves so that life can come forth. That is what is happening now, in your heart and theirs. Something sacred is cracking open beneath the surface. You may feel tenderness tonight, as if some invisible hand is softening your heart. You might sense peace mingled with longing, or a warmth that has no clear source. That is the gentle moving of divine energy, proof that your prayer has not been ignored. While you wonder whether heaven has heard you, heaven has been working with infinite precision, aligning threads and weaving a story that only makes sense when seen from above. You do not need to chase what is already connected to your destiny. The person meant for your soul is not drifting away, they are being guided into awareness, slowly, reverently, in divine timing. Christmas carries this awakening, for it is a season when hearts remember truth. The lights, the hymns, the stillness of winter, all remind the soul of what matters. And right now, your soulmate, your mirror, is being drawn to that same stillness. They are feeling the pull to face what has been hidden, to open doors within them that fear once kept locked. While you rest your heart tonight, their soul moves closer to remembrance. You are not the only one feeling this stirring, this ache that feels like both loss and peace. There is a divine thread between you, and when one heart softens, the other feels it too. That's how love guided by heaven works, it transcends words, distance, and denial. You may think you need to do something, reach out, fix, clarify, but the angels are whispering that this is not a night for effort. It is a night for allowing. If you feel moved to pause, that is sacred instruction. If you feel guided to pray without words, to simply breathe and let divine presence fill you, then you are already participating in the miracle. Even rest is holy when it is chosen in trust. You do not need to prove your worth by effort. You do not need to chase your destiny. What belongs to your heart is already finding its way home. Sometimes heaven slows things down so hearts can catch up with truth. What seems like delay is really alignment. And what feels like emptiness is actually the divine room being cleared so that something pure can settle in. You may be tempted to fill the silence with worry, with doubts about your value or place in another's life. But every time you resist that and instead choose stillness, you cooperate with grace. Tonight, the angels are very close. Can you feel the air shift slightly, as if the world itself is listening? There is a softness surrounding you, almost like a gentle blanket of peace being placed upon your shoulders. This is a sign of divine presence, a reassurance sent straight into your energy field. The angel who has walked beside you through the seasons of waiting is here now, whispering that you have not missed your moment. You have not lost anything you were meant to keep. What is divinely yours is being refined, not removed. The energy of Christmas carries a sacred vibration of remembrance. It reminds the weary heart that love is eternal, that miracles often begin quietly, and that light always returns, even when the night seems endless. As hearts around the world turn inward, so does your soulmates. They are revisiting memories, feeling the weight of what they once resisted, recognizing truth that has always lived beneath their defenses. And in that reflection, your energy is felt, not as pain, not as attachment, but as peace. Your soul is not haunting theirs, it is healing them. It sits nearby like a candle that refuses to go out. You were never meant to be forgotten, you were meant to be remembered in divine timing, and that process is unfolding even now. That is why, even without contact, you may sense movement. A wave of emotion might surface for no reason. That is resonance, a tie that cannot be broken, only transformed. If your heart feels lighter now, if you feel sudden warmth or tears that fall without name, let it happen. This is a sign that energy is clearing. Something within you and your connection is releasing old heaviness. Energy does not vanish, it transmutes into understanding, compassion, and readiness for the next chapter. Do not fear what feels different. Welcome it. Every journey of sacred love passes through stretches of silence. Every divine story must go through the chrysalis, where cocooned in darkness, both souls change shape. It may not look like transformation from the outside, but inside the silence, heaven is rewriting the script. Trust that your love story is not shrinking, it is being refined into something with eternal strength. You do not need to rewrite your worth tonight. Do not question whether you gave too much, whether you loved too deeply. The universe honors depth. Heaven notices when you love with purity, even when others cannot yet meet you there. Every ounce of love you've offered has added to the collective light of this world. That is why you are guided to soften, not harden, to rest, not run. The angels never want your heart to grow guarded, they want it to grow grounded in faith. Faith is not pretending you feel okay, faith is sitting in the stillness and saying, even here, I trust. When you rest in that trust, miracles accelerate. And they often arrive not as thunder but as knowing, as a gentle, familiar feeling that something has finally aligned inside you. That is what tonight holds. You may not see proof yet, but your intuition already senses it. The energy around you is shifting, almost imperceptibly, but undeniably. Your body may feel lighter, your spirit quieter, your breath deeper. The angels are rebalancing your emotional field, repairing strands of energy torn by fear or impatience. This is spiritual restoration, the unseen healing that allows you to receive what you prayed for. Do not think that heaven works only in grand gestures. Sometimes the miracle comes as an exhale after weeks of tension. Sometimes it's a sudden desire to rest instead of overthink. Sometimes it's a random memory of laughter that reopens your heart. These are not coincidences, they are coded messages of reassurance. Each one says, "You are remembered. You are loved. You are guided." Your quiet trust tonight sends ripples far beyond your awareness. When you choose peace, it reaches the person meant for your soul like a soft wind on their heart. They may not understand why they suddenly feel calm, why they feel drawn to reflection, but your peace is calling theirs forward. This is how divine communication works between souls. It speaks in frequency, not words. You might wonder when this waiting will end, when reunion or resolution will appear. But the angels remind you, time is not distance to heaven. What feels slow to you is instantaneous from higher realms. Every lesson being learned now will protect your love in the next season. Every pause is a divine protection against premature timing. And every quiet night like this is building the foundation for something lasting. Tonight, you are exactly where you are meant to be, not behind, not forgotten, but in perfect alignment with the quiet unfolding of your soul's journey. The world around you may feel heavy with waiting, thick with questions that have no immediate answers, yet beneath that weight lies a profound stillness, a sacred pause that is anything but empty. This stillness is fertile ground, rich with possibility, soaked in the quiet labor of the divine. It is the space where seeds buried long ago begin to stir, where roots deepen unseen, preparing for the moment they will break through the soil and reach toward light. The prayers you have whispered into pillows in the darkest hours, the ones spoken through clenched teeth and trembling lips, have not dissolved into the night. They have risen, carried on invisible currents, landing softly upon heaven's altar. Every tear you have hidden, whether shed in the shower where water masks the sound, or swallowed back in crowded rooms where no one noticed, has been gathered, precious as diamonds, and placed in a vessel that never overflows with sorrow but transforms it into grace. Nothing has been wasted. Not the sleepless nights spent replaying conversations that never happened. Not the moments you forced yourself to keep going when every step felt like walking through deep water. Not the love you poured out without knowing if it would ever return to you in the way you hoped. Heaven is careful with timing because heaven is careful with hearts. It understands the fragility of human hope, the way a heart can shatter under too much pressure too soon, or close itself off if healing is rushed. There is divine precision in the waiting, sorting souls who need to grow apart before they can truly come together, healing old wounds that would otherwise poison new beginnings, removing fears that masquerade as protection. This precision is not indifference. It is the deepest form of love, the kind that refuses to give you something beautiful before you are ready to hold it without breaking it or yourself. The angels surrounding you tonight speak in whispers softer than breath. They tell you that this chapter is not an ending, no matter how final it may feel. It is a turning of the page, a breath between sentences in a story far longer and more beautiful than you can yet see. You are moving into deeper understanding. Not just of the person you love, but of yourself, of love itself, of the way the divine works through silence and distance as powerfully as through presence and touch. You are stepping into stronger love, the kind that does not collapse under uncertainty but expands to hold it. And you are walking deeper into continued purpose, for your journey is not only about reunion or resolution, it is about becoming the fullest expression of the light you were born to carry. The person you love is awakening, softly and surely, to their truth. Perhaps they do not yet have words for it. Perhaps they feel only restlessness, a pull towards something they cannot name. But beneath their silence, beneath whatever walls they have built to protect themselves from past pain, something is shifting. Memories of you surface unbidden. Dreams carry your energy. Moments of clarity arrive like unexpected gifts, reminding them of what feels like home. This awakening is not dramatic. It does not announce itself with thunder or fireworks. It is quiet, like dawn creeping across a darkened landscape, revealing shapes and colors that were always there but hidden in shadow. And you, beloved, are awakening too. You are learning to stand in love without losing yourself, to hold space for another's journey without abandoning your own. You are discovering how to anchor a peace that no silence can shake, no unanswered message can erode. This is not easy. It requires you to sit with discomfort, to resist the urge to fill empty spaces with frantic action or desperate words. But in this practice, you are growing something rare and resilient, a heart that loves without clutching, that trusts without demanding proof, that remains open even when it has every reason to close. If you feel guided tonight to light a candle, do so with reverence. Find one that speaks to you, perhaps white for purity, pink for love, blue for peace. Place it somewhere safe, somewhere you can watch its flame dance without fear. As you strike the match, let the small burst of fire remind you of creation itself, of how light emerges from friction, from intention. Watch how the flame flickers, not anxiously, but alive, responding to every subtle movement of air. It bends, it stretches, it shrinks and grows again, yet it does not go out. That flame mirrors the energy between you and your divine counterpart, between your soul and the greater soul of the universe. Though winds of time and circumstance may bend it, though doubts and fears may blow fiercely, the light remains. That is how heaven describes your bond, bendable, but unbreakable. Rooted in something deeper than physical presence, stronger than words spoken or unspoken. You are being guided into a trust that transcends physical evidence. This is one of the greatest challenges of spiritual growth, to believe in what you cannot see, to feel held when no arms are around you, to know you are loved even when love feels absent. But this trust is not blind. It is built on every small moment you have already survived, every time you thought you could not bear another day and yet dawn came anyway. It is built on the countless ways the universe has shown up for you in unexpected forms. A song on the radio at the exact moment you needed it, a stranger's kindness that felt like a message, a dream that brought comfort when waking life offered none. You are moving into love that does not rely on outcome for validation. This is freedom. To love without needing the object of your love to behave a certain way, to return in a certain time frame, to become who you imagine they should be. This love is not less passionate, it is more. It burns cleaner, without the smoke of expectation. It allows the other person to be fully themselves, to make their mistakes, to find their way at their own pace. And paradoxically, this kind of love creates the safest space for true connection to emerge, because it carries no hidden demands. You are cultivating compassion that does not drain but sustains. So many people love until they are empty, giving from a well that has no source. But you are learning a different way. To fill yourself first with divine love, to let it overflow naturally rather than forcing it out. This compassion extends not only to the one you long for but to yourself. You forgive yourself for the times you doubted, for the moments you clung too tightly or pushed too hard. You honor the tenderness with which you have navigated this pain, the courage it takes to keep your heart open when everything in you wants to shut down. This is spiritual maturity, and it is rare. In a world that equates love with possession, certainty, and immediate gratification, you are choosing something ancient and sacred. You are embodying a love that mirrors the divine, patient, boundless, unwavering. And through your embodiment, others learn. Perhaps a friend watches how you carry yourself and finds courage to release their own grasping. Perhaps someone reading your energy from afar feels permission to soften. Perhaps the person you love, even in their distance, senses the steady light you hold and finds their way back to it more easily because it never flickered with blame or desperation. So rest tonight. Truly rest. Let your body sink into the bed as if it is being received by the earth itself. Let your breath slow until it matches the rhythm of something greater. Let the message settle deep into your bones. Silence is not the absence of love. It is the incubation of it. Like a seed beneath winter soil, like a caterpillar dissolving in its chrysalis, like a star forming in the dark heart of a nebula, great beauty requires periods of hidden transformation. What is meant for you is not lost. It is learning, growing, remembering who it is without the distortions of fear or old patterns. As you breathe, an entire realm of angels moves with you. They are not distant beings on clouds far away. They are here, in the air around you, in the quiet intelligence that guides your cells to heal, your heart to beat. Each inhale draws peace into your system, like cool water soothing parched ground. Each exhale releases attachment and fear, letting them drift away like smoke. You do not need to force this process. Simply notice your breath, and allow it to be a bridge between your human experience and the divine presence that has never left you. You are not alone in this. The divine presence envelopes you like soft light, quiet, constant, eternal. It does not shout to be noticed. It does not demand belief through spectacle. It is the gentle certainty that arrives when you stop striving, the warmth that spreads through your chest for no apparent reason, the knowing that comes in flashes, everything is going to be okay, not because the path is easy, but because you are held. And when the sign comes, you will recognize it. It won't be loud or shocking. It won't need to convince you. It will arrive like something you've known all along, like a memory returning rather than something new. Perhaps it will be a message that lands differently than all the others. Perhaps a dream so vivid you wake with tears of relief. Perhaps a moment of eye contact across a room that stops time. Perhaps simply an inner shift so complete that the waiting no longer feels like waiting. You'll exhale without realizing you were holding your breath for months, maybe years. You'll smile without forcing it, a smile that starts in your heart and reaches your eyes naturally. You'll just know, the way you know when you've come home after a long journey. Until then, keep your spirit open. Let gratitude be your anchor when waves of doubt rise. Give thanks for the small mercies. The warmth of your blanket, the sound of rain against the window, the fact that you woke up today carrying more wisdom than yesterday. Let tenderness be your strength. Speak gently to yourself when old voices of criticism arise. Extend kindness to others even when you feel depleted, knowing that giving from overflow rather than emptiness is the goal you are growing toward. Choose rest when the world demands rush. The urgency you feel is often illusion. The belief that if you don't act now, everything will slip away. But what is truly yours cannot be lost through stillness. Choose prayer when your mind seeks proof. Let conversation with the divine become as natural as thinking. Speak your fears, your hopes, your gratitude into the listening silence and trust that you are heard. Choose gentleness, not because it is easy, but because it is divine. The divine does not force or manipulate. It invites, it holds, it waits with infinite patience. For this story is still being written, and heaven is not done yet. The author of your life has not put down the pen. Every moment of pain has served a purpose, carving deeper capacity for joy. Every moment of longing has expanded your heart to hold more love than you thought possible. Tonight marks a sacred turn, not a finish line. You are unfolding, layer by layer, revealing the masterpiece that was always within you. They are awakening, remembering truths that may have been buried under years of conditioning and fear. The love between you is ripening in divine time, growing sweeter and more complex in its hidden season. There will be doors that open again, not because you chase them or pry them with force, but because truth always finds its way back to its source. Like rivers returning to the sea, like birds migrating across impossible distances guided by invisible maps, like magnets realigning when obstacles are removed, so too does authentic connection find its way. You do not need to orchestrate this. You need only continue becoming who you were always meant to be, trusting that as you align more fully with your truth, everything and everyone meant to walk with you will naturally draw closer. Trust in that, beloved soul. Trust in the unseen hands arranging pieces you cannot yet see. Trust in the love that has carried you this far and will not abandon you now. Heaven is near, closer than your breath, more constant than your heartbeat. The angels are watching, guiding, guarding, breathing peace where fear once lived. They rejoice in your resilience, in the way you have chosen faith over despair again and again. You were never invisible, never forgotten. Every act of love you gave, whether returned or not, still echoes in eternity, creating ripples that touch lives you will never know about. Those acts are growing quietly like seeds in sacred soil, nourished by divine light and time. And one day soon, when you least expect it but are most ready for it, those seeds will blossom, not as surprise, but as recognition. You will see what heaven was growing all along. A love more beautiful than your imagination could have designed, a version of yourself more whole and radiant than you thought possible, a life woven with threads of meaning that make every moment of waiting worth it. Until that moment, breathe gently. Let each breath be a prayer of surrender and reception. Rest in faith, knowing that rest itself is holy work. The story continues, richer and more profound because of this chapter of sacred pause. The page is turning even now, in perfect divine timing, guided by hands that have never stopped working on your behalf. You are loved beyond measure. You are seen in your entirety, the parts you show the world and the parts you hide even from yourself. You are held in a love that does not waver, does not withdraw, does not require you to earn it. This love is your birthright, your constant companion, your home. Sleep now, dear one. Let the softness of night wrap around you like the wings of angels. Let dreams carry messages your waking mind is too tired to receive. Let tomorrow come gently, bringing whatever it brings. You are ready, not because everything is resolved, but because you have learned to walk with grace through the unresolved. The light within you burns steadily. The love you carry is eternal. The divine timing is perfect, even when it feels impossibly slow. All is well, even now. All is becoming more well with every breath. Rest in that truth. You are exactly where you need to be. And everything, is unfolding as it should.